What's up, everybody? Larry Brown from LarryBrownSports.com, and I have to talk with you about Magic Johnson stunning the basketball world and the sports world by suddenly resigning as the president of the Lakers. I know it comes as a surprise, and it was a shock to me. He didn't even tell Jeannie Buss or Rob Pelinka. But when you think about it, why did he do it? That's what we're going to explore, is why he actually resigned. And I think it's pretty simple. I think Magic Johnson took this job thinking it would be easy. He probably thought all he had to do was sign LeBron James, which he did, and they would be in the playoffs. Then all of a sudden, he'd be the savior, the good guy, the one who helped turn things around and improve the franchise. Instead, LeBron got hurt. They didn't make the playoffs. The losing continued. It was a disastrous season. Not what Magic signed up for. This is not what he intended, not what he wanted. And all of a sudden, he was being associated with a loser, with the failings of the Lakers. And that's bad for his image. This is a guy who won championships for the Lakers, who's a god around Los Angeles, who when he touched the Dodgers and took ownership of them and bought a share of them, they started winning again, making the playoffs, making World Series. So being part of the Lakers when they're bad is bad for Magic's image. And then on top of that, he was being criticized. And it all happened recently. On March 29th, a report came out saying the Clippers were laughing at the Lakers over the Zubats trade. Then April 3rd, Tracy McGrady goes out and he says the Lakers front office is to blame, not Luke Walton. And then the day that Magic actually resigned, there was a report from The Athletic that called Magic an absentee executive. Then on top of that, ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reported that Magic hadn't talked with Luke Walton in weeks. It all came quickly. It all came suddenly within the last 10 days. It all made Magic look bad. He didn't need the bad press. It was a hit to his image. He didn't want to be associated with it anymore. If those articles, those details don't come out suddenly, he might still be around. I think he had had enough, and that's why he did it. Now, why didn't he tell Jeannie Buss? Why did he tell the media first? It's a great question, and there is a good answer for it, although it's not going to help Magic look any better. I'm just explaining what his thought process was. I read a book about Magic from his college days, A Rivalry with Larry Bird, and one of the things they talked about with Magic is that one of his issues was he was always a nice guy, never wanted to say no to anybody, didn't like disappointing people. So everybody would invite him to parties, ask him to do this, to do that, and he always said yes, and then he would no-show. And the reason is because he couldn't say no, he couldn't disappoint. And that's the reason why he couldn't tell Jeannie Buss, why he had to tell the media first. He couldn't say no to her face. He hates disappointing people. He didn't want to be the one to do that. And it's the same reason why he stepped down too. He didn't want to be the bad guy who had to fire Luke Walton. Magic is like the cool uncle. He wants to just kind of drop in, take the kids to Disneyland, have a good time, buy them, hats and candy, and be the good guy, and that's what he's remembered for. He doesn't want to be the parent in there in the trenches to deal with the crying, all the negative stuff. He just wants to be thought of as the good guy. He didn't want to be in the trenches doing the dirty work. And also, I think he thought this job would be easy. He would just sign LeBron, they'd win, that's it. But being the president of basketball operations for an NBA team, it's really involved. You have to go around scout college players. You have to be digging through the salary cap to think about what kinds of moves you want to make. You have to be looking at other teams' rosters constantly to think about how to upgrade your own team. And I think that was all just too much for Magic. I think it's better for the Lakers that he stepped down. This is actually a good thing for them. He wasn't good at the job. He recognized that. He stepped down. I don't blame him for doing it. I think it was a smart move by him. I think it's going to help the Lakers in the long run.